This ain't no Telemundo special. This is the real deal from the streets of LA. Welcome to Southern Life. On today's video, we are going to talk about the top 10 worst hoods in Los Angeles, California. These photos are not from Google Earth footage, straight from the streets of Los Angeles, baby. Now, while people hype this city up to be a beast, we look at hoods all over the United States and we've seen way worse. Keep in mind that Los Angeles is absolutely massive. With dozens of millions of people, it's a large city, and even somebody who lives there for many years will never have enough time to explore the whole city and find out exactly every hood. But based on a lot of research and the fact that I actually went to Los Angeles, these are the top 10 worst neighborhoods by notoriety in Los Angeles. Number 1 is right outside of downtown, and it's Skid Row. In recent times, no other neighborhood in Los Angeles has obtained more attention. Skid Row is basically a gathering place for homelessness, and it is definitely the worst place you can end up in the Los Angeles area. And I want to make it clear that this video is not just the city limits of Los Angeles. We're talking about the Los Angeles area. I'm not going to include San Bernardino because it's just too far outside the city, but we're going to include places that are right outside the city limits that are considered by most people to be part of Los Angeles. And these are not neighborhoods ranked by crime rates. We're going off of notoriety and the reputation that the neighborhoods have. And in the year 2023, nothing beats Skid Row. It gets the most attention. Moving on to number 2, Cambodia Town is part of Long Beach, California, and it is just outside of Los Angeles city limits. This is definitely one of the most grimy neighborhoods in the entire Los Angeles area. It is a depressing, sad place. And if you think the Asian communities ain't bout it like Master P, then you must not know about what's going on in Los Angeles. The Asian community is definitely with the craps these days. Being the minority among minorities, they have had to toughen up. And Cambodia Town is a sad reality that not all immigrant communities that come to the United States are going to do something positive. While doing the research for this video, I was surprised to find very few videos about Los Angeles hoods and which ones were worst. And it seems like the city layout is so confusing that it really makes no sense. And coming up with an exact list of neighborhoods was very difficult. Moving on to number 3, the South Central area. Neighborhoods in Los Angeles are not exactly well defined, and knowing where one neighborhood starts and another one ends can be a little bit confusing, but we could all agree that the greater South Central neighborhoods are some of the grimiest places in Los Angeles, notarized not only in African American music and culture, but also in the Hispanic culture. This is a notorious neighborhood that everybody knows. No games out here. This is a dangerous area. It really takes somebody who's not from Los Angeles to make this video. Somebody from Los Angeles may be inclined to put their neighborhood on top of other neighborhoods, and that's why it's better that I do this video. Number 4 is Watts, right outside of the South Central area. The Watts neighborhood gets its own category on this list. Watts is notorious for having projects like the Nicholson Garden and many others. It is one of the most notorious places not only in Los Angeles, but in the United States. And while there is some gentrification and more working class people and families are starting to move into Watts, it still has a very bad reputation. You can find all types of YouTubers blogging out of this area, showing you the real street life of these neighborhoods. Watts is notorious, it is dangerous, and it is definitely the places in Los Angeles you should stay out of if you have no business there. The notoriety of this neighborhood is undisputed. It's been featured in music, it's been featured in movies, and pretty much anybody in American culture knows that Watts is a place you definitely have to respect. Moving on to number 5, Compton, California. Maybe in the 90s, this was definitely the worst place in Los Angeles. But as of today, there's a lot of working class, regular people living in Compton, California. And while the vast majority of the people living in Compton are good, hard-working family people, there's still an element here that is very dangerous. This community used to be African American, but over the years, it's become increasingly Hispanic, and it improved a little bit. However, Compton is still a dangerous place in Los Angeles, and it will always hold a name as being a notorious neighborhood. Things can sometimes change for the better, but some places just can't shake the reputation. Compton is also in that part of Los Angeles that's surrounded by a bunch of other bad areas, and it's an area you should avoid in Los Angeles at all costs. At night, it's a ghost town. People are afraid to go outside. Moving on to number 6, Boyle Heights in East LA, to the east of downtown Los Angeles, is one of the most dangerous parts of the city. This area also has housing projects. It is predominantly Hispanic, and it holds some of the most notorious street organizations in Los Angeles. This area has a lot of good culture, good food, and a strong community feel, but it's nonetheless a place you definitely don't want to play games in. It's a place you want to stay alert and know exactly where you're going. These neighborhoods are dangerous, with a lot of neighborhoods feuding with other neighborhoods. It's best to be careful and alert when you're in this part of Los Angeles. This neighborhood was featured in a movie called Born in East LA. If you have not seen this movie, I definitely recommend it. It will give you great insight into the culture of this area. One of my favorite movies. Some sections of Boyle Heights have some of the highest crime rates in the entire Los Angeles area. Moving on to number 7, the Crenshaw, Inglewood, and West Adams area. As I mentioned earlier, the neighborhood boundaries of Los Angeles are confusing. The neighborhoods are kind of known informally, but this entire area west of downtown Los Angeles is an area you need to be careful in. There's a lot of bad neighborhoods here. A lot of them, like Crenshaw and Inglewood, are very notorious, as well as some pockets that have very high crime rates. The city of Los Angeles is massive, and there's so many neighborhoods that I figured the only way I can make this video comprehensive and digestible to the audience is if I broke it down into kind of sections of neighborhoods. And I know that's a little bit confusing. It took me hours just to figure out exactly how I was going to lay out this list, because it's just a large city, and we're talking about the area immediately around Los Angeles. Number 8 is Koreatown. Once again, if you think the Asians are not with this crap, you're very mistaken. This area of Los Angeles, just to the west of downtown, compromises many neighborhoods, some of which have some of the highest crime rates in the Los Angeles area, whether it's Koreatown, Filipino Town, or many of the other neighborhoods west of downtown Los Angeles. This is an area that's packed with activity and where you need to be very alert. In the United States, most Asian communities have a reputation of being hardworking and well-educated with high incomes. However, Los Angeles is a jungle, and every single community has to stand up and defend itself. And the notion that some people have that because these are Asian communities that it's sweet is the number one trap the victims fall for. There's also a large Hispanic population in these neighborhoods. Expect the unexpected in the Asian neighborhoods as well. Moving on to number 9, Hollywood, California. This might surprise you, but the notion that tourists are expected to come here and that there's so much homelessness has actually made Hollywood a notoriously bad place in Los Angeles, with people from Los Angeles even saying that Hollywood has become more dangerous than some of the quote-unquote notorious neighborhoods. It's a place where people come as tourists, and they're expecting it to be safe, they're expecting it to be clean, and they're actually afraid to venture into other parts of the city. They kind of stick to the tourist route, and in this particular part of the tourist route, you can encounter some surprises. People in Los Angeles know that it's some of these tourist traps that are actually getting some of the worst neighborhoods. So if you ever find yourself in Hollywood, don't forget you're still in a very large metropolitan area, and that at any moment, anything could go down. Be careful. Tourists are a big target, and this is where tourists go, so it makes sense for it to be dangerous. Moving on to number 10, Venice. Again, the assumption that because it's near the beach, it's going to be safer and you can let your guard down completely a lie. The amount of homeless people in this area is staggering, especially when you consider that there's a lot of rich people. I actually walk through these streets at night, and I will tell you that I felt more unsafe here than in many of the inner city neighborhoods. You can just expect anything from the homeless people here. You got rich people on top of poor people, and it's a very bad combination. This is definitely an area of Los Angeles that when I go back, I have no intentions of ever seeing again. My wife made a joke that next time we go to Los Angeles, instead of staying in Venice, we might be safer staying in Compton. And while that might sound absurd, it actually makes a lot of sense. It seems like these days Venice is really gone to crap, and some of the worst experiences we had in Los Angeles were actually right here. I can already see people saying, "You didn't go to my hood, dawg. You're not even from Los Angeles, dawg. You ain't go to my hood, dawg. Hey, you don't even know my city, dawg. You went from my city, dawg. There should be like 400 videos on this topic on the internet, and there really ain't. And the few videos that are out there are people that are going just by statistics. Nobody's had the courage to make a video that just tells people, hey, these are the 10 areas that are the most notorious in the city of Los Angeles. Clearly, that has been a problem because the city's reputation. But in fact, I'm just giving people that are traveling to Los Angeles, just like me, an idea of areas that need to be careful. So this video is preliminary. This is just from the outside, giving you a nice overview. Again, with Los Angeles being just a large city, there may be like hundreds of bad neighborhoods, no doubt about that. You know, Skid Row is not as bad as Kensington and Philadelphia. There's a lot worse neighborhoods in the United States. I think Los Angeles, it's not so much that there's concentrations in areas, but more like it's just a large city that is spread out in all directions, sometimes in places you wouldn't even expect it. Before I went to Los Angeles, I heard it was dangerous, it was bad, you can't go to Compton, oh, you can't go here, you can't go there, bro. I went to all those places, nobody bothered me. Where I did run into a lot of trouble were actually the tourist areas like Venice and Hollywood, places you really would not expect that crap, but hey, it's a big city. People there are not stupid. They know where the tourists are, and they kind of know what's an easy target. And if you're out in the hoods, you mind your own business, and you're respectful, and you look like a square, you're not looking like a certain way, nobody's going to bother you. I think the YouTube creators have masterfully made their city look like it's this crazy place, and that's good for them because people from all over the country are watching that. But if you're going to Los Angeles, look, it's like any other city. You use common sense, you act respectfully, you mind your own business, and you will be okay. Un gran saludo a toda la gente de California. We got nothing but love so far out of California. There's one dude on the Oakland video that's kind of upset, but every once in a while you just get somebody who's got issues. For the most part, the reception of our California videos did really well, so I look forward to working in California again in the future. So if you guys have any suggestions of places that we need to check out next time we go to Los Angeles, get in the comments section, let me know, and next time I go to Los Angeles, I could definitely check it out. A lot of times people tell you that you can't even wear certain colors in Los Angeles. I wore those colors. Nobody bothered me. Nobody cared. I was in bad areas late at night. I was okay. So this fear that they're trying to implant into people about Los Angeles, it's completely unwarranted. It's a beautiful city with great stuff to do. But if you go to Los Angeles, forget about Venice, forget about Hollywood, forget about Beverly Hills. You go out there and see like the real Los Angeles. Like go to East LA. Like go to those places you may not supposedly technically go to as a tourist. And you're going to find incredible people. I went shopping late at night. I went to places like supposedly you weren't supposed to. Like Katie wanted to see the Hollywood sign. So we were like coming back through Compton at like 1 in the morning because we stayed in Downey. And I love the Downey area, by the way. But please, don't be afraid to visit Los Angeles. And when you visit Los Angeles, get a taste of the real Los Angeles. Not the Los Angeles of the movie star places. Those places are going to crap for real. No wonder when people see Los Angeles, they think it sucks if those are the parts they're seeing. And keep your eye on that thing, porque son unos locos, bro. Like one of the craziest things about Los Angeles is how many people try to hit on my wife, how many people try to hit on me. Like, one of my friends told me, like, watch how slick these dudes are in LA. And I paid close attention. I was like, oh, these dudes are super slick. So if you're going as a couple, make sure you leave as a couple. Cypress Hills gave you a warning. Keep your eyes on that thing. Don't be scared. Échate pa' acá. Que llegaron los mero mero. And don't be like, oh, cubano. I'm going to saludar a la gente de Los Angeles. And this is, again, just a general video. It's not like this is, analytics or anything like that. I didn't go to school, reading books and stuff. It's just like, that's the hood, dog. Stay out. People act like my opinion matters. They get all upset and wound up. Like I'm not Bruce Rivers, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a criminal lawyer. I'm not nothing, but I'm just a regular guy on YouTube. But this is nothing more than my opinion. Like, if you ask the next person, they're going to tell you what they think the next neighborhoods are. So it's like people get all wound up, like we say here in the South, you get your panties all wound up over nothing. It's nothing but my opinion. That's all it is. And like, even when like a magazine publishes, well, these are the top 10 most dangerous neighborhoods by crime rate. You know what it is? It's really somebody's opinion on what statistics they thought were more relevant to the video they were making or the top 10 lists they were making. It's not like one person's opinion is more credible than the next. This ain't no Telemundo special. It's just my opinion, bro. Yo no soy Don Francisco, okay, papi? I hope I don't see comments like, man, you don't even know my city, dawg. You don't know my struggle, dawg. I really hope the people of Los Angeles are smarter than that. I mean, I would expect that from like Birmingham, Alabama. But I hope Los Angeles don't let me down. I don't want to have to put Los Angeles on one of these top 10 dumbest cities. You don't want to end up on that, do you? Right next between like Baton Rouge and Montgomery. You don't want that, Los Angeles. There's always that person with like a keyboard and the desire to leave a comment on my video about like how I ain't from their hood and how I ain't got no right to talk about their city because, they got 2 brain cells left and that's the only thing their brain could come up with. Before you tell me you talk about my city, because always my city, dog, my hood, dog. How much real estate do you own in your hood? Because there's always somebody living in their grandma's basement talking about, oh, my city, dog. I had somebody a while back there like, hey, you can't come to my city, dog. Make a video about my city, dog. And I said, oh, your city. So how much real estate do you own? This guy literally replied, this was a while back. It might have been like, I can't remember what city it was. It might have been like Arkansas or something. He was like, you my city, dog. You can't talk about my hood on the internet, dog. You're making money off my city, dog. And I was like, how much real estate do you own? I have somebody that'll buy the whole portfolio. He goes, oh, no, I don't own any real estate. Man, he literally said, his reply was literally, no, I live in my grandma's basement. I was like, you live in your grandma's basement and you talk about my city, dog. No, it's not your city, dog, if you live in your grandma's basement. It's your city, dog, if you own 500 apartments. Find out who owns the apartment building that you live in, and he can drive around talking about my city, dog. I own that building, dog. But of course, people that have that kind of money don't have time to be on YouTube talking about my city, dog. They out there buying cities, son. Get your money right. Hey, Holmes, you coming at me all wrong, you understand? I'm going to spend too much time in Los Angeles. All right, y'all. Well, this was Larry. I hope you guys like my Hispanic accent from Los Angeles. I hope I never have to go back there. And tell you what, when I got back to Alabama, I was glad to get the crap up out of there. But just for the crap of this video, my regular subscribers, y'all know it's really Larry. I just sound like that just so I could fool these people. I'm sure none of them are going to make it to the end of this video anyways. All right, checking out from Montgomery, Alabama. I hope you guys have a great weekend and expect the next video coming soon.